Part 1. My wife said she was going on a business trip. Then I found her on Tinder. Hey Reddit. I'm writing this at 2 a.m. because I genuinely don't know what to do with myself right now. My hands are shaking so bad I've had to backspace like 50 times already. I feel like I'm living in some bad Netflix drama, except there's no pause button and definitely no laugh track. Let me back up. I, 34M, have been married to my wife, S, 31F, for almost 6 years. We've been together for 9 total. She's always been the ambitious one, career-focused, determined, sharp as hell. She works in marketing for a tech company, and business trips aren't unusual for her. I've always prided myself on being the supportive husband type, cooking dinner when she's late, keeping the house in order, even hyping her up before big presentations. This week she told me she had to go to a regional conference, 2 states over. No big deal, I thought. She's traveled plenty before. I kissed her goodbye, wished her luck, and reminded her to send me pictures of whatever weird hotel breakfast she ended up with. That's always been our little running joke. But then, last night, my buddy convinced me to download Tinder again, not to use it, but just to see what the dating pool was like these days. Context: he just got out of a messy breakup and wanted someone to swipe with him for moral support. I'm married. I wasn't trying to hook up. I swear. So I set my radius pretty wide, just messing around, showing him how the app works because apparently I'm the old married guy who remembers how dating apps used to be. We're laughing at some of the bios, swiping left and right, when suddenly I freeze. Because right there, staring back at me from the screen, is my wife. Same smile. Same hair. Same goddamn dress I bought her for her birthday last year. The profile said she was 29, LOL. Bold move, shaving off 2 years, worked in communications, and liked travel, good wine, and meaningful conversations. The bio ended with, looking for someone who knows what they want. No games. No games. I can't even describe the way my stomach dropped. I thought maybe it was a catfish using her pictures. But then, I noticed one of the selfies was from our living room. The throw blanket I picked out was literally in the background. I didn't swipe, didn't match, didn't do anything. I just sat there staring, while my friend went dead silent next to me. Finally he said, "Dude, that's her." I tried to laugh it off, like maybe it was some old profile from before we met. Except Tinder didn't even exist when we started dating. I didn't sleep last night. I kept pacing around the house, checking my phone, waiting for her to text me, "Good night," from her supposed hotel. She finally did around midnight. Long day, exhausted. Love you. Talk tomorrow. I stared at that message until my eyes burned. Today I did something maybe a little unhinged. I made a burner Tinder profile. Fake name, different pictures, all that. I widened the search radius again. And within half an hour, she popped up. This time, I swiped right. And guys, it was a match. I didn't know what to do. My heart was hammering so hard I thought I'd faint. I sent a simple, "Hey," from the burner account. No response. I figured maybe she wasn't active. But an hour later, she messaged back. Her, "Hey there, winking face, what brings you on here?" I swear my hands went ice cold. I wanted to scream. Instead, I typed back something casual. "Just seeing what's out there." "You?" She replied almost instantly. "Same. Things have been complicated lately." Complicated? That word felt like a knife. I asked her what she was looking for. She said, "Not sure yet. Just want to feel excited again." I don't even know how to process this. She told me she was on a business trip, but her Tinder location is showing as only a few miles from our house. Which means she never left. I don't know where she actually is right now. I don't know if she's at some guy's place or just hiding out somewhere to keep up the lie. But here's the kicker. Tomorrow night, she texted me earlier she'll call from the hotel after dinner with coworkers. So what the hell do I do? Do I confront her through Tinder as the fake account? Do I wait until she gets back and drop the bomb then? Do I stalk her location until I know exactly where she's staying? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Every scenario running through my head is worse than the last. I love this woman. Or at least I thought I did. Now I don't even know who she is. And here's the part that's really eating me alive. Curiosity. Some sick, twisted part of me wants to keep the burner account going to see how far she'll go. To test her. To get proof before I confront her. But another part of me thinks that's insane. That I already have enough proof and dragging this out will just destroy me more. So yeah. That's where I'm at, Reddit. My wife is supposedly on a business trip, but she's on Tinder, a few miles from our house, talking to strangers, including me, about how things are. Complicated. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but something tells me this is just the beginning. To be continued. Part 2, update. My wife said she was on a business trip, but I found her on Tinder. Hey everyone, I'll be back again. First off, thank you. I didn't expect my first post to blow up the way it did. I thought maybe a few people would comment, lawyer up, and move on. Instead, I got flooded with DMs, advice, even some people sharing their own heartbreak stories. I read way more of them than I should have last night when I was supposed to be sleeping. Spoiler, I didn't sleep. Again. So here's what happened since my last update. Strap in, because it's been a ride. The call that broke me. She texted me around 7:30 p.m. last night. Heading to dinner with coworkers. Call you after face blowing kiss dot. Cool. Normal. Business tripwife mode. At 9 p.m., my phone rang. Caller ID, her. I swear my heart was pounding like I was about to defuse a bomb. I picked up and tried to sound casual. Me. Hey, how's the conference? Her cheerful. Good. So busy though. I'm exhausted. How was your day? She went on about networking and presentations and some guy named Alex from Chicago who gave a fantastic talk on engagement metrics. She was weaving this whole imaginary tapestry, and I just sat there, nodding and murmuring, "Oh wow," like an idiot, while my stomach twisted into knots. Because while she's describing hotel ballroom carpeting and breakout sessions, I've got her Tinder profile pulled up on my burner phone. And the app shows her location, still just a few miles from our house. I almost blurted out, "Where exactly are you right now?" But I couldn't. I chickened out. I just let her finish her little bedtime story. She ended the call with, "I'll call tomorrow too. Love you." I croaked out, "Love you too." Then I hung up and sat in silence for about 20 minutes, trying not to punch a hole in the drywall. Playing the game. Here's the part I'm not proud of. I kept talking to her through the burner. I know. Everyone told me in the comments to confront her immediately, to stop torturing myself. But I needed proof. Something undeniable. Something she couldn't wriggle out of. So, burner me, kept the conversation going. Her. "So what are you looking for on here?" Me. "Honestly, depends on the vibe." "What about you?" Her. "Nothing too serious right now. Just fun. Distraction." Me. "From what?" Her. "Life. Marriage. You know how it is." I nearly threw up when I read that. Marriage. Just like it was some minor inconvenience, like bad Wi-Fi or traffic. The screenshot. This morning, I took screenshots of everything. Her profile, the match, the messages. My hand was shaking so hard some of them came out blurry, but I've got enough. Enough to ruin her perfect little story about conferences and colleagues. But here's where things went off the rails. Around noon, she messaged the burner again. So when can we meet? I froze. Meet? This wasn't just harmless flirting. She was trying to set something up. I played along. I asked when she was free. She said tonight. Tonight? And here's the kicker. She suggested a bar that's literally 10 minutes from our house. Not in another city, not 2 states away. 10 minutes down the road. The stakeout. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was stupidity, maybe adrenaline. But I decided I was going. I told her, as burner me, I'd meet her there at 8 p.m. She agreed. Said she'd be wearing something red. So I drove over early, parked across the street like some wannabe detective, and waited. 8 o'clock, 8:05, 8:10. And then she walked in. My wife. Dressed up. Red blouse. Smiling. Checking her phone. Not at a conference. Not in another state. Right there in front of me. I swear my hands were gripping the steering wheel so hard they cramped. I wanted to storm inside, scream, demand answers. But I couldn't move. My whole body locked up. I just sat there, watching through the windshield like a coward. A few minutes later, a guy walked in. Tall, clean-cut, maybe late 30s. He waved. She waved back. They hugged. And then they sat down at the bar, side by side, laughing like two people without a care in the world. I think that was the exact moment something inside me broke. The dilemma. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I know, half of you are probably screaming at your screen right now. But I couldn't. I just couldn't. Instead, I snapped a couple pictures from the car. Grainy, but you can clearly see it's her. And him. Together. Then I drove away before I did something stupid. She texted me an hour later, as herself, not the burner. Long day, going to bed early. Love you. I just stared at the phone until the screen went dark. Where I'm at now. So here's the situation. I have Tinder screenshots. I have pictures of her at the bar with this guy. I have her fake business trip story, which I can prove is a lie. And yet, I still haven't confronted her. Why? Because I don't even know how. Do I drop everything on the table when she walks back through the door? Do I let her keep digging the hole deeper until she confesses? Do I call her family, her boss, blow this whole thing up? Or do I just leave? Pack my stuff and disappear before she can gaslight me into thinking this is somehow my fault? I keep replaying that moment in the car when she hugged him. How natural it looked. How happy she seemed. And I can't stop asking myself, was she ever that happy to see me? Reddit, I don't know what to do next. Part of me wants the explosion, the big confrontation, the caught you red-handed moment. Another part of me is terrified of hearing whatever excuses she'll spin. But one thing's for sure, my marriage isn't what I thought it was. I'll update again soon, but right now I'm sitting here in the dark, staring at the evidence on my phone, and wondering how the hell my life turned into this. To be continued. Part 3, final update. My wife said she was on a business trip, but I found her on Tinder. Hey Reddit, OP back one last time. I didn't think I'd actually be writing this so soon, but the last 48 hours have been the most surreal, exhausting, gut-punching hours of my life. Everything I was afraid of happening, happened. And then some. Grab a drink, because this is going to be long. The confrontation. She got home yesterday afternoon, suitcase rolling behind her like she'd actually been in a hotel. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open, phone next to me, pretending to catch up on emails. Really? I'd been staring at those Tinder screenshots and bar pictures for the 100th time, trying to figure out the exact words to start with. When she walked in, she gave me this casual little smile. "Hey, babe. I missed you." I swear I almost laughed. I asked her how the trip was. She launched into this whole spiel about keynote speakers and free hotel breakfasts and some funny story about her coworker, Sarah. She was animated, waving her hands, like she was reliving a memory. Meanwhile, I knew damn well that at the exact time she claimed she was at dinner with coworkers, I was sitting in my car watching her hug Mr. Tall and Clean-Cut at a bar 10 minutes away. Finally, I just cut her off. Me. "You weren't on a business trip." Her, frowning. "What?" Me. "Don't. Please." I know. The color drained out of her face. She tried to laugh it off at first, said I was being paranoid, but then I slid my phone across the table. Tinder screenshots. Pictures of her and him at the bar. Receipts. She stared at them for a solid 30 seconds, completely silent. And then the tears started. The excuses. Her first defense was denial. "It's not what it looks like." Classic. Then it shifted to minimization. "It was just talking. Just drinks. Nothing physical." When I pointed out the "What are you looking for on here?" and her "bond, distraction, marriage" messages, she flinched like I'd slapped her. Then the excuses came pouring out. "I was lonely. We've been distant. I just needed to feel wanted again." It didn't mean anything. I asked about the guy at the bar. She swore up and down it was the first time they met in person. I don't know if that's true, but honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. The breakdown. At one point, she actually tried to flip it on me. "You've been so wrapped up in work. You don't notice me anymore." And look, I'll own my flaws. I work long hours. I zone out sometimes. But I never lied about where I was. I never downloaded Tinder. I never sat at a bar with someone else while my wife thought I was out of town for work. I told her that. Told her I was done. She collapsed onto the floor, sobbing, begging me to give her another chance. Said she'd delete Tinder, block the guy, go to therapy, whatever it took. But here's the thing. Once you've seen your wife smiling at another man in a bar while she's supposed to be in another state, there's no unseeing it. The fallout. I packed a bag that night. Just a few things. Laptop, chargers, some clothes. She followed me from room to room crying, asking where I was going. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I drove to my brother's place and crashed on his couch. He didn't even ask questions at first, just handed me a beer and sat with me in silence. Eventually I told him everything. Watching his face go from confusion to anger to sadness just made it all feel even more real. This morning, I called a lawyer. Haven't filed anything yet, but I wanted to know my options. Spoiler, I have plenty. Her messages. Since I left, she's been blowing up my phone. Long paragraphs about how much she regrets it, how she never stopped loving me, how she was stupid and selfish. One gem from last night. It was just Tinder. Everyone uses it to feel validated. It wasn't serious. Imagine being married and finding out you're competing with an app for validation. I haven't responded to most of her messages. The only thing I texted back was, "I need space. Don't contact me." What I learned. Sitting here now, it feels like my marriage ended the moment I swiped right on that burner phone and saw her face pop up. Everything since then has just been confirmation. I learned that sometimes, the person you trust most can lie straight to your face with a smile. I learned that no amount of excuses can unring a bell once it's been rung. And I learned that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away, even if it feels like tearing your own heart out. What's next? I don't know exactly. Divorce lawyers. Therapy, probably. Sleeping on couches until I figure out a new place. But I do know this, I'm not going back. The woman I thought I married doesn't exist anymore. Maybe she never did. Final thoughts. When I made that first post, I felt like I was losing my mind. Gaslighting myself. Wondering if I was crazy for suspecting her. Reddit, you gave me the courage to trust my gut. And as painful as it's been, I'm glad I know the truth. So yeah, that's the end of this story. Not a happy ending, but a clean one. And maybe, eventually, that's what I'll need to start over. Thanks for reading. Thanks for caring. And if you ever see your partner on a business trip, but also mysteriously swiping on Tinder, trust yourself. Because once the mask slips, it doesn't go back on. Op.